Alright, Mia saves a change from her lunch money each day. She gets 34 cents in change, and she has been saving it for 26 days. How much money does she now have to buy Mr. Winkleman a fabulous treat? Alright, so the first thing we have to do, we have to figure out what we're going to do. If we have 34 cents a day and saving it for 26, we're asking for a total here. So we're going to multiply, okay, alright? And being there are exactly two numbers in this problem for us to multiply, we are going to multiply those two numbers. We're going to multiply 34 cents, and we're going to multiply that by 26 days. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can do this lattice, and the multiplication is still going to be the same, and then when you get to the answer, you just have to count the number of spots to the right of the decimal point, or you can do this traditional. Either way, the multiplication process is still the same. It's just now that when you're done, you have to add the decimal. I'm going to set this up traditional method just because I'm going to set it up traditional method, and it's my video and I can do whatever I want. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just going to do it traditional just because that's the way I'm going to do this problem. So we're going to start with multiplying by the ones. So 6 times 4, then 6 times 3, and then we'll do by the 20, 6 times 2, 4 times 2, and then 3 times 2. Let's start with 6 times 4, which is 24. Write down the 4. Carry my 2. 6 times 3 is 18, plus the 2 I carried here is going to give me 20. Now I'm going to multiply by the tens column, so I'm going to have to make sure I start off in my response. This is going to be in the tens column. 2 times 4 is 8, and then 2 times 3 is 6, and now I'm going to add those together. Okay, 4 plus x, or 4 plus 0, depending upon what school, is 4. 0 plus 8 is 8. 2 plus 6 is 8. Now, we had a decimal point up here, didn't we? Okay, so we need to have remember the decimal point was right here. We need to have a decimal point in our solution. So I look at my decimal point, and I count the number of spaces to the right of the decimal point. 1 space, the 3. 2 spaces would be the 4. So I'm going to count here 1 space, 2 space, and my decimal point is going to go right there. Okay? So look, 1, 2, 1, 2. So our answer is Mia has $8.84. More than enough money to buy Mr. Winkleman some Sour Patch Kids or something, because he loves Sour Patch Kids. Alright? Our second problem here, and you know what, our second problem and third problem are going to be just some plain problems. We won't do any story problems on this one. The first problem is 0.8. Oops, I just put the line in there already. Jeez, what am I doing? Times 6. We're going to do 0.3 times 40. And let's go with 0.005 times 9. And we're going to multiply these just to see what we get, because multiplying is fun, correct? Alright, starting with 0.8 times 6. 8 times 6, normal multiplication first, is 48. Okay, and then 6 times 0 is 0. We don't, okay. Now I probably shouldn't make all these dots here. Maybe I'll make my decimal points in green so we don't forget them. Because I will tell you, when Mr. Winkleman was in 4th and 5th and 6th grade math, and oftentimes when it was multiplying decimals, he would forget the decimals. Because he was a lot like you, and everything was a race, and if he got done, then he could go out and play, or beat up his sister or something. I don't know. I don't know what I did. Most of the time I could go outside and play. Sometimes it was, sadly, I beat up my sister. But then sometimes I also got beat up by my sister, so I guess it all evened out. So, anyway, we digress here. I have one space here, if you notice, to the right of my decimal. So in my response, I have to have one space to the right of my decimal, my decimal point. So 8/10 times 6 is going to be 4.8. 4 and 8/10. Okay? Now let's look at this number here. I want to switch to this color here. Okay? Now, I can multiply by 0 and go 0, 0, 0, and then start in the next spot. Or if I want, because I am multiplying by 0, I can just start in the next spot right away and just go boom right there. Now now my first answer is in my 10 spot because I'm multiplying by my 10 here. 4 times 3 is 12. Write down the 2. Carry the 1. 4 times 0 is 0. Add the 1. So it's going to be 12. Okay? Now I look at my answer. And I have, I have one spot to the right of my decimal point. So what am I going to need? I'm going to need one spot to the right of my decimal point. So I look at my total answer here, and I move it over one spot, and it's going to be right there. Now, that's a very important thing that's why we put that 0 there, because otherwise our answer would be completely and entirely wrong. Okay? And finally we have 9 times 0.005 or 5 thousandths. Let's multiply this out. 9 times 5 is 45. Write down the 5. Carry the 4. 9 times 0 is 0 plus 4. 9 times 0, not 0 is 0. 9 times 0 is 0. Now, we go back to our spot. We see how many spots to the right of the decimal point. 1 spot, 2 spots, 3 spots. So how many spots need to be the right of the decimal point? Well, hopefully you counted to 3 in your head. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Our decimal point is going to go right there. Alright? So our answer is 45 thousandths. Now, hopefully this all made sense to you, because the next video is just going to be you practicing. Alright? We're going to do 2 word problems, and we're going to do 2 more, I guess, normal multiplication problems, if you want to call them. Alright.